Hi, we're here today in the Sparkle test lab and I'd like to show you Sparkle's data pipe POS app. This is a service that allows you to harvest transaction data from remote point of sale systems, bring it all up to the cloud where you can then analyze it. So we'll show you some work through examples and then we'll show you some analysis that we've done on previous data as well. So in the test lab today, we have got one of our clients' test systems. This client is a coffee chain, so it's effectively a quick service restaurant type POS system. They also sell from the fridge various soft drink items. So we have some items that we can enter by on-screen menu presses and some that we can enter by barcode. This software runs on an OPOS technology stack, and I've got my printer and scanner connected via OPOS. Also, over here I've got the Sparkle box, which is our POS app platform, and this is a low-powered fanless solid-state box. This is where we can run a variety of POS apps. It has an internet connection so that we can access our cloud services, and this avoids the need for an internet connection on the point of sale system itself. So in a minute I will take you through some example transactions and show you the data uploading to the cloud. So now we're going to put some transactions through our point of sale system, and first of all I'll show you how this works without the Sparkle box running. So we can look at the till functionality. So I can select items from the menu. So today I fancy a hot chocolate, and I also fancy from the bakery a butter croissant, and I would also like a Pepsi to go from the fridge. And I'm going to takeaway today and pay for that with the exact ender. So that's a standard transaction on our POS software, and I can now show you on our cloud services. I've got a data connection set up on our cloud services. I'm selecting from our data pipe transaction table, and if I run this query now, we have no data in that table. And I'm now going to power up the Sparkle box, and that will take just a short minute to power up and start communicating with our cloud services. So it should be ready now that we can start putting more transactions through the POS. So again, I am going to have a hot drink, and today I fancy a caramel latte, mocha, and I think I'll have a butter croissant again. And this time I'd also like an iced tea to go. So I'm going to eat in and pay with the exact tender. And so we can see that the point of sale functionality is unchanged by involving the Sparkle box, but what is happening now is that the Sparkle box has recorded the details of that transaction and is sending them up to our cloud services. So I'll run our query again to see if the data has reached the portal yet. And it has now, so we can see that our transaction has uploaded with our caramel latte, our butter croissant and our lemon iced tea. And I'd like to point out a few features of the data uploaded. So we have the identifier for the Sparkle POS bridge data pipe that's uploaded the data. We've got the POSIS transaction identifier and transaction date time, and we've got the items together with their quantity and their price. Also, for the item that was scanned by barcode, we have the barcode uploaded as well, and I'll show looking at historic data what uses we can make of this. Some other comments on this data: because we got the grouping by transaction, we can do some more sophisticated reporting on average basket sizes or which products are typically sold with others. So that shows a demonstration of the data pipe in action and a flavour of what we can capture. So now that we've had a look at how we get data up from the point of sale systems to the cloud, let's have a look at what we can do with that data once it's in the cloud. So to begin with, I've got a query here for the same client that shows all the data collected in May for a single point of sale, and a few features to point out here. So we have an identifier for which point of sale the data is coming from. We've got a transaction identifier, so we can see here in transaction 7 that this customer has bought a ham and cheese panini, a vanilla latte and a raspberry and white chocolate muffin. And we can see the price they paid for those. And we can also see that there's been a mixture of items purchased from the quick serve restaurant menu and items from the fridge and elsewhere purchased by barcode. So we can then start to see what we might like to do with that data. So we can easily aggregate the data. So for an example here, I've taken the May data again and aggregated it by hours and across the whole of May, and also across four different points of sale. And it's easy then to move this data to Excel, and then we can plot, for example, hourly transaction volumes across the 4 different points of sale throughout the first week of May. Some other things we might like to do, going back to the raw data, for the retailer themselves, we would normally imagine having access to all this data, but we can also give access to data to suppliers, but the retailer and supplier will need to agree what level of data access is given. And to give an example of this, we can see here that there's an item scanned by barcode, which is root vegetable crisps, and it would be possible for the retailer to agree only to allow information about specific barcodes to go to a certain supplier, and Sparkle would support this by verifying company barcode prefixes to ensure that that data only went to the right parties. So to see how that would look, I can add a filter to this query to say let's filter where the barcode has the prefix of the supplier of these particular crisps, and now we can see this supplier would now be able to see the time and date and price of sale of all their items that have been sold with this retailer, and in this case across a single point of sale. But we can also do queries across multiple points of sale. So as an example, I've written a query here that goes across all points of sale and does aggregate stats across the entire month for each of the products. So this supplier has 5 separate types of crisps being sold at this outlet. We can see the total sales of each one and the average price of each one. So hopefully that gives a flavour of the kind of thing that can be done with the Sparkle data pipe once the data is up in the cloud. So finally, I'd like to show you that once you have the Sparkle box running a POS app, then it becomes possible to add further POS apps very simply. So the Sparkle box is a platform on which we can run any service that requires access to transaction data running from the point of sale system and needs access to other services, whether those be running within the store or within the client's network or on the internet. So for this particular client, we have helped them run a coffee card loyalty scheme where you collect points as you buy coffee, and you can then use that to get free drinks. So customers can use a mobile app, or they can use a plastic card to collect their points, and it all runs on the same scheme. So I'd just like to show you how that works in this case. So if I come along with my phone app, and again I'll have a hot chocolate and my usual butter croissant, and when I go to pay for this, I can present my QR code to the scanner, and it will very quickly look up against in this case a third-party service on the web my points balance, and in this case I don't have sufficient points to pay for this transaction, so I'm going to pay by cash. And in this case I get a second receipt confirming that I've now had 20 additional points added for this transaction. If another customer comes along, in this case with the plastic card, and they're going to have a second blend cappuccino and maybe a blueberry muffin, when they go to pay, then they can swipe their plastic card, and in this case this customer has 625 points. They are able to pay for this whole transaction. So we'll see here that we get a tender on the screen paying for the full transaction, and the customer gets a receipt saying that they've used up 558 points and they've now got 67 remaining. So that's an example of how, once we have the Sparkle box, we can add other services to suit your particular needs. So finally, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching.